I've put together 8 or so crucial things you need to know about Assassin's Creed Dawn of Ragnarok Valhalla DLC, some little secrets, maybe a little cheat so you can get unlimited platinum to upgrade your weapons to divine, and also even how to access the DLC as it might not be too clear, and what to expect if you do decide to go ahead and use the boost. A few other features as well about the open world, and I'm going to explain the powers and upgrades a little bit as well. So leave a like if you find it useful, check out the rest of the Dawn of Ragnarok guides I've got incoming, and let's go. There's 3 different ways that you can get into the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC in Assassin's Creed. You can start a brand new experience that's not tied to any of your other characters. If you maybe have never played the Assassin's Creed Valhalla base game and you do want to give the Dawn of Ragnarok a go since it's more mythological based, you can actually go ahead and do so. But your progress obviously won't carry over. You'll play this as a standalone expansion and you'll be given items to help you at the start, a loaned set of armor and weapons, and then you'll just play through. Once you finish that DLC, that's it. You won't be able to take any of that progress over. You'd have to start a brand new game of Valhalla. The other 2 ways are that you can take your existing character, and as long as it's over level 340, you should be able to just go ahead and start the quest line. That will take you to Svartalfheim and begin the new DLC. The third option is that you get a boost. If you haven't actually played that much, or maybe you haven't got to that kind of level yet with your character, you can get a boost that will level you up to the required level. So for either of them 2 choices, whether you use the boost or not, you're going to need to go to Valhalla and start the Restless Dreams quest, which has you pretty much going to rest underneath a tree, and then you're transported via a vision to the main storyline of Dawn of Ragnarok. Without too many spoilers, you'll come across Frigg, the mother of Balder, who obviously is the main fulcrum of the actual story, where you're meant to be rescuing your son who's been taken hostage by Surtur. You'll be given the chance to roam around a dusty, ruin and ash-filled city, fighting off against the Muspelheim, before having a little bit of a battle with Surtur. No spoilers, or not much anyway. Once that's done, and that'll take probably about half an hour, then you are going to awaken from your dream and you need to go back to Valhalla, and this is where you can choose your boost. If you're anywhere above level 200, then I don't think it will matter that much really. Yes, you will come back from doing this expansion, and if you've not completed a main chunk of the story and stuff, you will have a lot more advanced gear and items. All weapons, armor and your skills, they will all come back with you, except for the main new powers. There are obviously 5 unique powers that you can only use in a Dawn of Ragnarok expansion. What you will bring back is any skills that you found from the knowledge books, any armor, any weapons, even the upgraded new versions up to divine level, they can also be played in the base game. So if you're significantly lower level, like maybe only a level 50 or 60, then it could ruin the progression of the rest of the game, especially if you come back and start obviously using all that stuff. But the flip side is you will come back with more gold, more titanium and a whole bunch of resources to go ahead and craft and put into some of your other stuff. So the grind might be lessened, and for me that's not a bad thing. I did find the original game just a wee bit too long and grindy. I prefer my open world games to be about 50 hours or under. But I do appreciate that's not for everyone. A lot of you guys would expect to be able to go and have a good experience and balanced. In terms of the actual story, there are sections within the base game where you do visit Asgard and other mythological realms, and it does kind of, I suggest, maybe move past some of that stuff and doesn't really give you a bit of a backstory for it. Although there is a pretty decent video out there from Ubisoft themselves recapping the events of the mythological realms. But again, I wouldn't say you have to have completed all of them sections of the game to go and enjoy Dawn of Ragnarok. It is contained, but there definitely are some references to certain things and certain characters that you've met in the previous parts. Whatever way you choose, you'll then get access to the Hugo Rip, which is the new bracer that you'll be able to basically take powers off enemies that you defeat, and this is the main focus of the game, and something I really enjoyed playing it so far in the like 15 hours I've chucked into the game. I really like DLC that gives you something a bit different than the normal base game, rather than just more of the same stuff, and I feel like the powers are great. The new knowledge book skills are great also, though they do open up a few avenues to mix up the gameplay as well, so you're not going to miss too much not having all the powers with the base game. As you might expect, if you're a big fan of them, obviously part of the main game is the river raids. You will continue to do these to gain access to a silica material, and this is what you need to also upgrade your Hugo grip. This does get a bit grindy. You are going to have to do a significant portion of these raids to get the silica to go ahead and start upgrading your Hugo grip and gain additional side powers. There are 5 main powers, and then you've got 10 side powers that give basically a little bonus to it. So you can use your blink ability, but you can also go ahead and assassinate targets while using it instead of just being able to teleport yourself. And these all require the silica as well as resources that you gain from killing mobs and enemies. Killing Muspelheim and you're going to get the magma blood, which you can need 20 of to upgrade the Muspelheim ability. So you get the idea. To upgrade these powers, then you do need to go ahead and get some of these resources from mobs like the giant ravens, the Jotun and the Muspelheim. All in all, 15 hours in, this does require a bit of work. You are going to have to spend a good amount of time taking on some of these mobs and enemies to get some of these resources. You do get a few from bosses as well, and you can upgrade it so you've got 2 ability uses rather than just the one that you start out with, which I highly recommend you get first. Your powers, you only actually can have 2 active at any one time. And this is how you will unlock the powers initially. You don't need to actually buy them. You just need to find the enemies out in the world that will actually have the powers on them. So you can see he's got a foot marking on top of him, and that's pretty much going to mean that you can use his rebirth ability, where you can actually raise them from the dead to fight alongside you. The ice ability, pretty much giving ice power damage to your weapons and armor, that doesn't actually get activated until a bit later because I found it hard to find some of the Jotun that had that skill. So yeah, some of the skills you won't unlock immediately straight away. It may take a few hours to mess around and see which ones you want to keep. But there's plenty of opportunity to swap them in and out, and generally you'll get the idea when you go to a village what ones will be more beneficial. But there is occasional backtracking where you'll be looking for maybe a raven to kill so you can actually get the raven flight, or likewise if there is a area where you need to use the blink ability, you do normally have the blink ability somewhere like a dead body that you can go ahead and lift whatever you need from them. There's no way to actually upgrade how many powers you can hold at any time. As I said, you can only increase the amount of times that you can use the powers, so up to 2 times. You can refill it by killing some of the mobs that you come across, and also by taking it from these weird mushroom style flowers. I would say 5 of these normally replenishes 1 power use. The Raven ability is great for getting up to higher places. That's how you get onto them flaming molten islands that you might see in the sky, but do make sure you're pressing the right button. It took me a while to realise I could actually go up a little bit more by holding down on the left stick, and then you've got a bit of a boost. So it's not great for necessarily going far distances. It's actually still quicker to use your mount, which you can still use and summon, by the way, straight away, as well as your regular Raven. You can still use that to scout out areas and landscapes. This is an additional power. One last thing though about the molten ability, basically where you can pretend to be a Muspelheim and go unnoticed past guards and walk through lava, is that sometimes you need that ability to take on some of the bosses. Don't have too many spoilers, but there is a boss fight against this Jotun that can turn into a cat, and the game pretty much locks you into this area where if you haven't got 2 bars, it's actually hard to deal with him because he has a lava ability where he basically makes the area that you fight in much smaller, and it means that you can potentially be chucked into lava and start burning unless you've got this ability. At no point just before this does it give you any kind of warning that that's going to happen. So luckily I had this power active, and luckily I had at least one of them to help me. But yeah, it was a challenge, and I was playing this on the easy mode setting. Hey, I'm a scrub. I ain't got time for playing no Dark Souls Assassin's Creed. You'll fight against this boss. It's part of the ending of the Vault of the Ancients, and you'll recognise it when you get there because you need to basically go and chat to a dwarf after you've rescued him, and he's a returning character from the previous base game. But yeah, I'm chucking it in here because I really do feel it's worth knowing, and I hope they do something. Of course, you can load your own previous saves, so if you do encounter this and you didn't manage to switch over to the ability or get 2 of the power bars filled, then yeah, go and load up a previous save because you might find it really hard on higher difficulties. When it comes to upgrading your weapons and armor sets to the new divine level, then you do need to use the new platinum sort of currency or resource that you can find. You do get given quite a bunch of this, obviously rescuing certain dwarves and completing missions, as well as being able to find it out in the world. And if you're super lucky on a PlayStation with the Corellinian pack that you got, I do believe, from signing up to Amazon Prime a little while ago when the game first came out, well, this for some reason was already at divine status, and there was a bit of a glitch and a bug where I could basically keep dismantling it, downgrading it, and it gave me a whole ton of the brand new platinum. In fact, every new shelter, which is basically the hubs that you'll come across where you can upgrade, buy items and talk to other NPC traders and stuff, it would refresh it. So it would give me another brand new set of divine items, and I kind of cheesed and cheated and got a whole bunch of it. This may be patched, I'm sure, by the time the full game is out for everyone, but I thought it's just worth letting you know. Do you remember all them silly little puzzles that you had to direct the light? Well, they're back in this DLC as well. Some of them can be quite tricky. The majority of them, though, are fairly simple. You'll get the idea. Aim it at a special plate above a door and it'll open up the doorways, but some of them you may need to reconnect or move some of them. It's also lifting directly ability or part of the gameplay they had from Immortals Phoenix Rising, where you actually have to get like planter style balls to put on the pedestals to then go ahead and utilize. It's maybe not something you need to know, but something you should be aware of. You may have to do this quite a bit to get certain armor pieces hidden away. Also, I'm sure you've read that there is a Valkyrie arena. I've not actually visited yet. I've spent all my time doing the rest of the story, but basically you can collect boasts around the world that give you modifiers, and you can earn resources, get loot and more while doing them. I would suggest you head for Valkyrie when the mission actually pops up and then take advantage of going through them. It does look like they will give you more rewards to help you throughout the rest of the game rather than leave it to the end like I did. So yeah, they're called boasts and you can find them all around. It will start off the quest, the Heroic Scholar, when you found the first one, and then that's it. It will give you the quest line to go and find Valkyrie and take part in the arena. It's basically horde style events where you'll be attacked by waves of enemies and you've just got to survive as long as you can. I probably will do a video giving the location of all 15 of the boasts. One good thing is, I feel like the devs have kind of learned a little bit about not making you revisit or replay certain areas. One of my big criticisms of the main game was I didn't want to have to always go back through the town that I just explored and then realising that it's part of the story, and that happened a lot too often. This one, it kind of gives you the freedom. Your idea is that you're just exploring, finding these shelters to progress the story, doing certain quest lines. So you will visit a lot of the same places, but it doesn't feel as like instantaneously. Like you can go and explore, find a whole bunch of stuff. That said, if you do come across the shelter where it gives you like the hints that you need to go and find it, I would actually take that opportunity to do so, as it does give you a fast travel point. Not every one of these shelters has the same stuff as well. Some of them will have access to shipyards and stuff so you can customize your boat, whereas others might not have the same traders and stuff. The main quest does actually say to go and find these shelters as if it's like the main thing you should do, but I would say just follow the rest of the quests and you'll come across the shelters naturally. There's 4 of them scattered across the land, and like I said, yeah, you won't get access to all of them because some of them will be in higher level areas anyway, unless you're a total badass. If you pre-ordered it, it should come with the Twilight pack, and it's pretty cool. It gives you the hood, the patch, basically the one eye patch for Odin, as well as obviously the other items, and they give you bonuses and buffs with fire and ice damage, with finishers and heavy attacks. But you will need to upgrade it, obviously. It doesn't come as Divine either, it comes as Mythical. So yeah, it was a bit weird seeing that Corellinian one. Again, go and see if that cheat works. And last little top tip is you're going to get tons of iron and, like I said, titanium. It's absolutely everywhere in this DLC, as well as the opals. If you're a big fan of buying some of the stuff that appears in the microtransaction shop, then you should get a whole big bunch of them regularly playing through the game, exploring. They're just absolutely everywhere. So yeah, you should be able to go and buy some nice stuff with it. So there we go, crucial things I think you should know about the mechanics of playing the game, how to start it and what to expect with the powers and upgrades and stuff. It's a chunky DLC for sure, and upgrading and getting the full levels will absolutely take you forever. You won't necessarily need to do that with the powers, because by the time you've got enough of the resources, yeah, you're probably getting close to the end of the DLC, and obviously you can't use the powers on any part of the other game. So I would definitely focus on the books of knowledge, getting armor and weapons, over maybe the grind for getting your powers buffed out a little bit more. But that's just my hot take on it, and sometimes you guys don't like that. Let me know what you do like about the DLC once you've played it, and go and check out the rest of my guides and tutorials, and I'll see you rat bags very soon. Bye bye.